Welcome back. This is Catherine again from Outsource Elite, and today I'm talking with Carter, who's the Director of Voice Sales at Momentum, and we're continuing our conversation of what's going on over at Momentum. And today we're talking about changes in the channel. Thanks for being with me, Carter.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So, Carter, how have you seen the channel dynamics change in recent years, and what trends are you observing? And then finally, how is Momentum adapting to the changes that you're seeing?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of changes. I think everyone is. It's a very interesting time in the channel. And I think what we're seeing is how we're positioning ourselves to work with the emergence of new partners. So when you think of what's happened in the recent 18 to 24 months, we had the introduction of a lot of private equity entering into the traditional agent channel model, where they're looking at these large organizations that have been built usually over 20 to 30 years by a team of one or two people that were legacy telecom brokers, and they've built a large recurring revenue base, and they're selling. So what it's creating some of these large private equity firms that have purchased dozens of small traditional brokers with decent amount of revenue billing through them. So there's been some of that consolidation happening. If you look at what's happened on the TSB side, or what we legacy used to call masters, we've seen a lot of consolidation in that space, and now there's roughly between 5 to 6 of those TSDs that now exist. There used to be over a dozen. So we're seeing consolidation in that space. But the exciting piece that where we are aligned is the emergence of new partners. When you think of new partners, where we're seeing that are organizations that are focused on cloud-based solutions. And those are typically going to be your managed service providers are becoming more relevant. Your CSPs that are traditionally selling Microsoft license. And when you think of the traditional channel in these organizations that have been bought by private equity, those organizations were usually started 20 plus years ago selling T1s, PRIs, MPLS networks. And as the industry has shifted, what we see are a lot of cloud-based solutions. So we're seeing an emerge these new partners that we're really focused in on. And again, I think that's going to be around the managed service space is where we're seeing a lot of emergence. And not just managed service providers, just younger people getting into this industry, a little bit of cash that they've had, and they're finding fast wins where they're able to take some of those spiff dollars and so forth to continue to grow I'm seeing organizations that are 6-7 years old with teams of 10 now. So because they've been able to grow so rapidly through selling cloud-based solutions around security, contact center, and so on. The other piece that we're seeing when you think of the channel dynamics changing are really around the transformation with digital, like digital transformation. When you think of that shift from, I'm going to sell a product, I'm going to sell an MPLS network, I'm going to sell a PRI. And where you're seeing that shift is more around service-oriented approaches. And that's kind of the thought that we have as you look at where we're positioned. It's not just, here's some services that I can provide you, but we're wrapping it with a full experience. We always say it doesn't matter how great your services are or how great your product is or how great your price is. If you can't support it, manage it, and deploy it, none of that really matters. So it's really organizations that are looking to be offering comprehensive solutions rather than standalone products. So for providers like us, we need to be in that transformation, that digital transformation of providing a very service-oriented solution and supporting it. And then just two more that kind of come to mind is more of that online shopping, or you might call it e-commerce growth for organizations. You and I both know, and everyone watching, that people like to shop online and compare prices. We're a lot more educated than we used to be, where I can go to Google and find what I want at certain prices and certain features and compare. So organizations in the channel team, the sellers in the channel, they want to work with providers that provide them some online shopping So we see, online shopping being one of the dynamics where we see things changing in the channel, and having customers purchase directly from online platforms, or at least start the process. So what you're going to see with us in the coming days and weeks are some online options around engaging with us, to where you can start the process of starting a trial and engaging with us around deploying team solution. And then of course, the last one that everyone loves to throw around is AI and automation. That's a real exciting component. I think it reminds me of the word cloud. Like 15 years ago, everyone would say cloud. So what is the cloud? So now AI is like that new buzzword. And when you really can wrap your head around it, you can start to visualize how it can help organizations. But more than that, we think of channel and partners. How can AI and automation help provide information to the sellers that are in the market rapidly? And that's really where we're going to be focused on providing more personalized recommendations and automation around routine tasks. So it's really about speed and how quickly can I get that channel partner the information that they're looking for. Because it's all about speed. Everybody wants things now. We're impatient. So those are really the four things that come to mind for me. It's just the emergence of new partners that are in this space that we're focused on, that digital transformation that organizations are going through. It's not just products, it's solutions, and then wrapping it with a full experience. Online shopping, you want to have some sort of look and feel around that. And then the AI and automation is it's a big piece that needs to be part of how we interact with channel partners.
That's pretty cool. So you're saying not only do you have great product sets, but you make it easy to access and easy to bid out, essentially. And then you guys are there to support whatever products a partner may be looking for. So you're basically just lowering the difficulty level of getting any information as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where you can leverage AI and AI bots with leveraging how it looks at internal data, to where I can go online and do searches for information via your website and get that information sent back to me via AI bots. So there's a lot of things happening around that about self-service and getting information to customers and users quickly.
Yeah, quickly. That was exactly what I was going to say too. Speed, speedily. So that brings me to the next part. So clearly you're emphasizing bringing the products and the ease of use and speed to the partners. How are you? Are you building good relationships with your partners, and then do you want to go specifically into how you support? You kind of touched on it, I think, but I don't want to answer the question for you. How you support partners to ensure that there is a mutual success there.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I think we try to overcomplicate some things. Relationships are tricky. Anyone that's been in a relationship, we all have relationships. Relationships are challenging. They all are, on all sorts of different levels. And when we think of the partner community and those relationships that exist, one of the unique things that I'm seeing, I've heard it from partners that have either sold or gotten out of the business, that have sold to private equity. They go, what we're seeing is a kind of a top-down approach. We're acquiring this space and we're going to sometimes manage it from afar. But that's not always the case. But he said, I was really hoping the business that I built, this was a channel partner that sold, was more than just relationships. But here's what I've learned. It was all relationships. So that's the beauty of it. And when we think of, how do we maintain partner relationships and the unique market influence that they bring in regions that we could not access independently. And so when we can build relationships with the partner community where we can leverage their experience and resources to enhance the sales process with, again, that whole time to value, then ultimately it's providing the right solutions tailored for the client to help them, as we say, thrive, to help the organization thrive. So when you think of, partner relationships, that's going to be kind of how we do market reach and sales efficiency and client success. Those are ways that we're able to take those components and work with our partners to make sure that we're putting the right solution in front of the customers and leveraging their unique expertise in how they live in those markets. And then for us, we've got to make sure that we have the right people in that right market. So if you're in Atlanta, we want to make sure we have the right person in Atlanta, or whatever the city or market might be, that we're aligning ourselves with, like I talked about earlier, with some of those new and emerging partners that are in the channel. Training and resources are super important. We want to make sure that as an organization, we are staying on top of the latest industry trends with technology. We're real excited about the advancements of Microsoft Teams and how it's disrupting. It is actively disrupting. It is a market changer. What is happening to the UCaaS space? Again, as a dead word, I believe UCaaS is dead. It's all about Microsoft Teams and how it's going to dominate the corporate phone system world. And we've got to make sure we are trained and that we are in front of the right people, the right partners, and we're teaching and educating them. The past 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, that's all I've been doing for the most part is a lot of presentations where Microsoft Teams is and a lot of education. And then we think of resources. We want to be able to provide those resources, online resources. Momentum University on our website is a wealth of information that we can push out there. You'll soon see AI bots with a chat. You can pull information down from our website. And then most important is responding quickly. We have to be responsive. When you look at the partner relationship, if I'm slow to respond to you, you're not going to see a lot of value in our relationship. It's all about speed. So we have to be quick to respond to partners' inquiries, concerns. Again, one of the exciting things is the online tools that we're going to have available. So you may not just be waiting on a human being to respond to an email or a phone call. In some cases, you might be able to go to a chat and get what you need very quickly. So relationships are tricky, but ultimately it is about that relationship. It's us putting the right people in the right markets to help partners stay on top of the constant change in technology.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you're investing quite heavily in the education as well as the support aspect, so that both partners and Momentum can go in as a real team with a winning strategy and really ensure success for the customer and with the customer.
Yeah, I mean, everyone learns in their own way. I've never met an A-type salesperson that typically are channel partners that are going to sit through an hour-long video. Maybe they do, but a lot of them learn through experience. Yeah. So if I can take a 30-minute condensed overview and make it consumable, I can consume it and learn it in 30 minutes. I can teach a channel partner how to understand and position Microsoft Teams in the marketplace. Because one of the things that we're challenging the partner community is that if they're not having the conversation about Microsoft Teams, you might have gotten accustomed to selling, you pick a UCaaS provider and you say, I got accustomed to selling that provider. But the reality is that the financial buyer in every organization is looking at cost. When they look at cost on a line or on a sheet, they're going to be looking at, okay, how do I get everything into Teams? And you want to be in a position where you've at least brought it up, where you're educated enough to at least say, hey, I have some money for you. Yeah. You reach out to your Momentum representative, you bring in that expertise to talk to your customer about Microsoft Teams and say, hey, it's very possible. Many years ago it wasn't, but now it is, and let me show you why. So the challenge that we're challenging our relationships in the partner community is have the conversation, bring up Microsoft Teams, let them know it's here to stay, and it is a fantastic phone system once you get into it and start to see it.
That's pretty cool. Well, Carter, that's all we've got time for today.
Great.
Join us both next week when we're going to talk about the technology landscape that Momentum is playing in. Thanks, Carter.
Right. Thanks so much.